good morning, and welcome to another edition of Talk That Tech. The
Number one tech morning show in the world. Good morning.
Good morning. We are here, and so are you. Thank you so much for stopping by. And if you are brand new to the channel, go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe as it does well to help us get the message out. And also, this is a call-in show, so the link has been dropped. But go ahead, call into the show. Let us know your thoughts. We would love to hear from you as well as from about any topic really, but specifically the topics that we're going to cover today. And we got a couple of them right now. We're going to dive into it. We have the conversation regarding the government and the TikTok situation. We have other conversations as well, but let's start off with that one because that one is a doozy. And I'm going to pass it over to Trey for more.
Crazy work, crazy work. All right, so y'all, today we are talking about a $10 billion deal, controversy, and y'all already know the company, TikTok. So here's what we basically know right now. All right, so the U.S. government, they're in place to receive around $10 billion as a part of the deal that forced ByteDance, aka TikTok's parent company, the American side, to y'all remember they forced them into a consortium of the U.S. investors, right? And according to Wall Street, they're about to have to pay $10 billion to the U.S. government. So if y'all don't remember, y'all remember we talked about this, but if you don't remember who the investors are, this is Oracle, all right? This is Silver Lake and the Abu Dhabi-based MGX, all right? And now when the deal closed fully in January, the investors had already paid $2.5 billion to the U.S. Treasury. I ain't gonna lie. Now, a part of me, I was like, man, this is a lot of money. 10 billion, 2.5 billion. And then I had to put on like the business side, right? And I was like, wait a minute, if they paying this much, how much are they making? So anyway, that was a whole nother thing. But as we're talking about this story today, right? So they paid 2.5 billion make payments until the total reaches around $10 billion. Now, on the surface, that might sound like a regulatory settlement or some kind of fine, but that's not exactly what this is, okay? So historians and policy experts say that this type of payment would almost unprecedented would be almost unprecedented for a government that helped facilitate a private corporate transaction. So in effect, the government helped reshape ownership of a majority technology platform and then collected a fee tied to the deal. Now, y'all know that sounds like business being done if I've never heard it before in my life.
Facts.
And y'all know who was behind it. All right, this is the man Trump. Y'all know that name, I'm sure. I don't have to go into detail, but he was behind all of that, right? So here's what that means. It means that something unusual is happening here. Now, does that always mean that it's bad? Just because it's unusual? No, but it don't necessarily sound the greatest. And who knows? Maybe that's because we're not used to hearing it. So either way, that's why this story it matters outside of TikTok and beyond TikTok. So because we're seeing a shift in how, especially like this government anyway, and how governments treat technology platforms. Now we already know they got technology in eyesight. They want to be the top technology people. They want the U.S. to be that, right? And as far as across the world, we want to be the it girl when it comes to technology. And so they made pushes for that. Now, for decades, tech companies were treated like normal businesses when it came to the government, et cetera. But platforms that control huge amounts of user data and powerful recommendation algorithms and huge amounts of public attention are getting more and more, right? They're being treated more and more like strategic infrastructure. All right. So think about this though. Now, governments, they already treat certain systems as like strategically important. And y'all, I don't know if y'all remember what was that, last week or week before? We were talking about Anthropic and all, like what they're trying to do, how they're trying to strategically get these companies to do their bidding. Um, that's what their government is doing right now, right? So they already have treat certain systems as strategically important. Just to name a few: energy grids, telecommunication networks, right? They need to find, hey man, what's the call? We need the call logs for this kingpin. We need to tap in. Y'all already know. Y'all watch the stuff. Satellite systems, defense contractors. So now they're trying to shift and add in social media platforms and data platforms. Not like they haven't already been in there. Okay, we know the sting operations on the PEDOs. Y'all know what I'm talking about when they acting like they 13 and then gotcha, right? They do that. So they already are on social media platforms and data platforms, but now these are starting to fall into the same category as those other few that I talked about. So, in other words, technology platforms are becoming geopolitical assets. And now, y'all already know I normally like to have some kind of angle that goes against the grain, that most people won't think about or talk about. So, for all the national security debate around TikTok, the statistical evidence of direct harm is thin. All right. TikTok has more than 170 million users in the US. So that's like half the entire country, okay, is on TikTok or has it downloaded. And despite years of investigating by Congress, intelligence agencies, and regulators, there has never been publicly confirmed evidence that TikTok's algorithm has been used to systematically manipulate the US political outcomes. Now, most of the concerns raised by the FBI and intelligence community are focused on potential of data access, right? Y'all remember that, but not proven misuse. So that was their whole thing. So statistically, we're watching one of the largest government interventions into a technology company based largely on hypothetical risk scenarios. That was the whole thing. Like, oh, they could be spying on us and using, but I mean, were they really? Who knows? Now, they're not, they have done it before. We talking about China. They try and get that info. That's a fact. But now, here's the thing though, y'all. That doesn't mean the risk isn't real, obviously, but it does raise an interesting question. Are we responding to an actual problem when we're doing this kind of stuff, or or to the possibility of one? So historically, y'all know governments, they tend to intervene after the harm is done. So once something happens, y'all know, like I don't know, 9/11. Yeah, y'all remember that. After that was done, it got crazy, like more difficult inside of the airports for good reason. I hear older people talk about all the time. Man, I used to just walk through the airport. It wasn't that. I was like, man, I ain't never had that experience. It's always been extra. But either way, the antitrust cases often take years or even decades after companies dominate markets. But in TikTok's case, the intervention happened before any clear violation was proven. So that approach looks a whole lot more like the government's treat defense technology, if y'all understand that piece. But yeah, right now, that tells us something crazy important about how governments are now viewing the technology space. Tech is no longer just business; is becoming part of national security and their strategy, and we're seeing it, happen in real time in a way that I don't know. You just haven't seen it before.
Mm-hmm.
$10 billion is a lot of money. I don't know how much more they're gonna get, or if that was just the full payout, and then they get to keep the rest. But if you work in tech, right, this shift and what's happening, it does really matter because now, depending on where you work, right, it could affect some things because your industry will sit at the intersection of business, politics, and then geopolitical competition. So that $10 billion payment, it just adds another layer to the story, obviously, because collecting a payment tied to restructuring of a major tech company, it blurs the line between regulation and like participation. Like, it's interesting. So we'll see. We'll see, bro.
Yeah, capitalism on Capitol Hill.
There
It's
you go.
definitely
There you
it's
go.
definitely a very interesting conversation. In fact, y'all, let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Just want to let you know this is a call-in show, so if you want to call in and share your advice, go ahead and do so. Must be 18 years or older to call. But I was trying to think of what movie would represent this, and I don't think there's anything I could see to think of. I mean, we have War Dogs. If you remember that scene, he's like, "Oh, you want to take my?" Comes out, had gun blazing. We got middlemen, but it's just like there's nothing I've ever seen that can even
Yeah.
compare to this completely because it's straight up like, "Yo, we taking your company, so you gotta give it to us. We gotta sell it and make a profit off of it." Like that's kind of gangster. I ain't gonna lie. And that's different levels of like, we would have, some people call that extortion or whatever, but like that's different levels of like hey, we gonna get something out of this. Now again, it all, everything rises and falls on leadership, and so it's just an example, or reminds me of like, okay, we have a very business minded or entrepreneurial minded or capitalistic minded, whichever one you want to put in front of that minded, uh or administration. And so the fact that they're able to pull this off, I thought was very interesting. I don't know. I want to know if there's going to be any backlash from this. And yet, y'all let us know in the opinions in regards to just what will come down for other companies. Because let's say that this becomes a trend. We're talking about TikTok now, but there are other companies that might have some influences, not necessarily as big as TikTok, but for whatever reason, they could be like, hey, I don't like what you're doing. Either sell or you hit the road, Jack. And so I'm like, will this trend continue? And if so, who are the other companies that could possibly be in a situation? Now, one thing this reminds me of, I don't know why, but as we're talking about it, it reminds me of that tech dinner that they had at White House where everybody was singing the praises of the president. And everybody was like, hey, we in lockstep, sir. You don't gotta come for us. We
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
And even
Including people who had different opinions maybe just a few years earlier. You know what I mean?
exactly. They realized what was going on, and what we need to do, and they sang a different tune. And so for me, I was just like looking. I'm just looking at things more of an observation and saying, interesting, because one of the questions that, and I'm gonna put it up here for those who didn't see it, but are we responding to an actual problem or the possibility of one? Uh, I would say both, and the reason why I'm saying both is because there probably was an underlying problem that may not have been mainstream. Because if you think about it, the algorithm what does what? It helps to drive traffic and keep people on platforms as long as possible. And so, in order to do that, it has to gain some sort of insight on who is on the platform. It has to figure out what you like, what you're interested in. And if you're like, hey, I can use this to my advantage, not just to get advertisers to the right people, but maybe there's some people that like data because data is gold nowadays, right? So
Facts.
to think that that is not being harvested and used in some way, shape, or form that we may not know of, it probably is a bit naive. But and that's why, as many people know, a lot of government officials, not I'm gonna say a lot because some people might still have found ways to do it, are not supposed to be on social media, but especially not TikTok. That was something that I even had people in military, people that I know of, family friends. Oh no, I can't be on TikTok, but they have Facebook, they have whatever, but they can't be on TikTok for because of the concerns. So my answer to that question is a bit of both. Is it an actual problem? Probably somewhere along the line. Possibly one, absolutely. Um, but like you said, they were able to find it. So if
Yeah.
they didn't find it, then either they're hiding it extremely well, or maybe there was just our imagination running away with us. But either way,
Either either way, yeah. They got that thing.
they got that thing, and that poses a question about again, other companies that are like, hey, listen, if they could do this to TikTok, what other things can they do if we embed ourselves too much into the American society and culture? And that's what TikTok did. TikTok came in and they ran, right? I don't, I'm not saying people don't go on IG and stuff like that anymore. Shout out to IG, but it's definitely a different experience for a different generation on TikTok, and they embraced it in ways that um, they probably have not embraced IG or other
Yeah.
platforms similar to it. So
It's a search. It's, man, they be using for search and everything now,
yeah, it's their
like
Google.
for actual questions.
Unfortunately, do not search who passed away though on there. It's the worst. But
Oh Lord.
it's the worst. They be dying on people every day. You're like Snoop Dogg died like randomly just to like. So
Knowing
yeah,
good and well
but
he on 10 commercials right now.
right now, and then not AI. And they're he's going to shows with Martha Stewart. He's doing his things. That's his homegirl. So like yeah, but all in all, just on this topic right here, I just think that it's very interesting to see where this is going to trickle to and how it's going to affect other companies, and that's the thing I'm kind of keeping my eye out for, because it sounds like if you impose this government, you could possibly, or as seen as a threat, you literally could have your job taken from you. Now, I mean, obviously it was a sell, so they got money back, but what would that if they kept on doing business as usual, how much more could they have made? You
Oh,
know?
well, it was a
Exactly.
lot.
Yeah.
It was a lot.
10
And
billion was the price tag. The fee, not even the price tag, the fee,
hey
quote
man,
unquote.
we're in trillions of debt. You gotta get some money back, I guess. And that was you
And
know.
listen, do y'all agree with what happened? If y'all like it and say, yeah, we should have done that. Nobody coming on American soil and making getting intel on us. Let us know in the comment section. What are your thoughts
I
on this?
look, and personally, I don't know if it should have been done, but here's what I say. If it had to be done, I guess that's one of the better ways to do it as far as being able to get money back. Like, not many people, deal structure in itself, and the art of the deal structure is an art,
Mhm.
strategic. Uh, eh, it's, it could be great. I don't know how many people would have done it like this.
Mm.
And or even if it was a sale, or even if it was like, we got to take this over, I don't know how many would have been able to get 10 billion out of it. Um, but that being said, I don't know if it's good or bad. I don't know. I have no clue. I guess we'll have to find out. Like, if we look up and now that becomes a thing, no matter who's in the office, hey, government made a sale and they took a huge cut. Like, we know where it started is basically where that goes. But as far as if it's good or bad, I have no clue. But what I
Yeah,
do know is it's a crazy deal.
it's the same amount of money, 10 billion. I mean, I know we got inflation and everything, but 10 billion is a whole heap of money. I guess when you look at
And
trillions of
then
dollars in debt,
and
it's like
then
drop in the bucket.
bro, and then exactly that too. But then you think about it, like, does it operate like a tech deal, right? Like, if you're the
Yeah,
person who structured the deal, who got it done, do do you get a little like, hey, 1%, hey, 0.1%? Does
I
that go
know.
to you or your family estate? Like, who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, what's the fine print? What- what's the fine print? The individual now gets a
Hey,
cut off that because it's not necessarily supposed to be a
I'm just
government
saying.
thing. Yeah, that's a good point. I don't. I That's a great point. But it reminds me of the power of being a power which is even broking a deal. Like when you think about channel sales or anything where you're like sometimes the middle person between two people getting things done, and you're literally just facilitating things. There's a lot of power in that. I mean, sometimes it's funny. Sometimes it's crazy because I'm thinking about it like right now. You're not creating the product, you're not manufacturing it. You're literally just facilitating a deal, and
Hey
there's a
man,
money to be made in that. We could die. We could talk about
big
that too.
big Clarence Avant, man. Shout
Yep,
out to
I was
him,
thinking
the
about him,
late great,
bro.
man. Shout out to
Y'all,
the late great.
I think the documentary is still on Netflix. If y'all haven't checked out that
I hope so.
documentary, Let me go look at the. I just don't remember the name of it. I love that documentary,
The
but
Godfather. Me too, bro. That was one of them ones for sure. That was one of them ones.
yeah, I gotta.
Why you? Huh?
No, the Black Godfather. Yeah,
Yeah,
watch it again because it was so good. It was so good, and I
yeah,
think that
yeah, man. And
yeah, go ahead.
I hate it. Here's what's crazy. I got a love hate relationship with that documentary, bro, because I
Oh yeah,
know
yeah, yeah. The
one
aftermath.
thousand percent that is the reason why his house got broken into and everything that transpired. I know that it was because of that, because of the way he lived his life. Like,
Yeah,
if you were in, you knew who he was. If you weren't, it was a regular black man.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but once that documentary got out and the stuff that transpired after it, you can't help but think that that was the reason why. You know?
That's terrible. Yeah, no, I that's a good point to bring up. That's a good point to bring up because I think that um and that shows another thing about this world, when it comes to exposure. Sometimes exposure leads to expansion, but too much of it could lead to demise. And so that was a sad part of the reality of it. And there's a lesson in that too. Sometimes sometimes we gotta do some things in the secret
Oh,
and
for
just stay
sure.
there and just stay
That's a
there.
fact.
Don't let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. Operation Takeover is in the building.
What up,
OTTO is in
bro?
the building. Peace and blessings, family. Definitely appreciate you rocking with this one and rocking with us again. So let us know your thoughts on this. We definitely want to hear from you in regards to any of these topics. We got a lot to cover today, and we're going to keep the conversation rolling. But definitely want to hear from you, man. And listen, that's you know, I want to just stay there for just a little bit more. But yeah, when it comes to because I think there's a lot to learn about that. When it comes to opportunities that are present, sometimes a couple of things there. One, you don't got to be the person to invent the wheel. You just got to be the one to facilitate how it's being used. And two, in regards to how you move. What do they say? G's move like be like a G in lasagna, just move in silence, right? I'm definitely reframing that, but literally,
Yeah, I was about to say
it-
you're in the vein, but
I'm in the vein. I reframed it, but I was like,
real
ain't gonna
G's
go.
move in silence like
It's like
lasagna.
lasagna. There we go. Real G's moving sounds like lasagna, and in this case, real deal makers as well. So, it's just a lesson to learn that sometimes when you're trying to go grow and you're trying to be on the up and up in regards to a lot of different things, you just can't tell people everything. You might have to just kind of work at it, chip at it, develop it, build it, and then when the time comes, you're like, okay, here it is. Because between now and then, you will have a lot of situations that might occur or happen, and sometimes you got to move from your environment too. Now this is more. Now I'm
That's
not going on a
that,
tangent, but
that's most times.
yeah, most times, especially you got to move from your environment because your environment is shaping who you are, and so that means going
Hey
to
man,
someplace else. Yeah, go ahead,
that's in
brother.
the it's in the Bible, man. Even Jesus had to go. He couldn't do miracles in his own hometown. Isn't
I
that
know this
crazy?
dude.
He did very few.
That's Joseph's
Huh?
boy. What are you talking about? That's Joseph's boy. What are you talking about?
Very
That's
few,
Mary's
man.
boy.
Very few.
I know him. I know when he just changed his diapers. What are you talking
So it exactly. Exactly. It's too close to home. That's how they think of you. When you're actually doing stuff, sometimes you're just the boy who was just, licking ice cream with everybody else. And that's how they see you when, hey, I've done some other things, and now I really am him, but they can't see that piece. So
about?
it's sometimes you gotta get out of there or else they'll take you out. They'll take you
Yeah,
out.
yeah. And Operation Tech Takeover, he says it's kind of like wholesaling in real estate. You don't have to own the property; you just have to put the buyer and seller together and collect the check. Collect the check. And we may,
The,
may
the, that's a fact. That's a fact.
yeah, yeah. And that's
It's the art of
exactly
the
what
deal, man. I know
the art of
somebody
the
who want to
deal.
buy something. I know somebody who want to sell something.
And then I find them,
What
put them
y'all gonna give
together.
me for the middle piece? Yeah,
Yeah.
what you gonna give me in the middle?
In this case,
We
10
can make
billion.
some shake. Yeah, exactly.
Man, man, there's a whole industry out there with just being the middleman is all that it needs.
But think
I'm pretty
about it.
sure.
It's in
Yeah.
it's in every it's in a whole lot of industries, more than you think, right? Like
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, more than you think.
Absolutely, absolutely, and and a lot of and going back to the G's moving. I'm not gonna butcher it again, but going back to that saying, like there's a lot of people that are moving in silence doing it who are making millions of dollars and able to
Yeah,
pass it down to their children, not just the money, but the business structure. Like, we could dive deep on it. We gotta probably bring some people to chat about that. We definitely will. But listen, bro, I'll take a pause here and just say, man, how was your morning? How's everything been with you and your weekend? And we're gonna
for
dive
sure.
into the rest of the show. But man, how you been?
Yeah. Yeah, man, I've been pretty good, bro. Weekend was pretty solid. Not too much going on. I went and checked late last week. I went and checked out a a new black coffee shop, a black owned coffee shop.
Okay, cool.
It was good vibes in there, man. It was good vibes in there. Had a good time. I actually met my cousin, and we were chopping it up and working from there. But and then outside of that, man, I'm trying to think. Not too much happened this weekend, dude. Uh, Sunday went to church, had a good time, came back home. Saturday, I didn't do too much outside of the house, but I mean, it was the wind this whole weekend was pretty crazy. And it was like kind of cold, but not cold. I don't know how
Yeah.
to explain it, but we had some crazy wind this weekend. But yeah,
Mhm.
I was in the crib, man. Um, yeah, working. That's it. You know what I mean? But how was your weekend though?
No, it was good. Saturday I had a pretty like heavy front load Saturday. I was working with like two bands, doing music stuff, preparing
Oh
for
yeah,
the whole holiday season coming up here, and working on that stuff. But it was good overall, man. It was good. Like I think it was a good time. Spent some time just chilling for the rest of the day on Saturday, Sunday. Kind of the same after church. It's just like trying to chill, let my wife go out, do a little shopping to get some girl time, and that was pretty much it, man. It was good. It was good. It
that's what's
was it
up.
was good,
I
and I hope.
forgot. I did check out some baseball, bro. They got the World Classic going, and
Oh
the
yeah,
yeah,
DR
so
is
I
kicking.
forgot. Hey, I love the Dominicans, man. You know, it remind me. I'm almost one, man. When I went to Mexico, they was asking me, Dominican? I was like, no, no, no. I'm US. No, Poppy. I'm US. But no, they were killing it until they, you know, I had to kind of I was going with DR until and the US, and then they met each other yesterday. So I had to go with US
uh,
yesterday, you
yeah.
know, for those reasons. But hey, they came out on top. US came out on top. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I did check those out. I forgot.
Yeah, me too. I forgot about that too. The only thing I checked out was highlights from Lucas 51 and all that sort of stuff. We didn't talk about Bam and his 83, but that's
Mm,
that's
mm,
another conversation for another day, or later on today, I should say. I feel like CCO says, "I feel you, Trey. Same here. We had two tornado watchings going on this weekend.
yeah, yeah, bro.
Yo,
That win was crazy.
that was nuts. You know what's so crazy about it too is like we're hearing tornado watches, snowstorms, 80-degree weather all in the same week. It's like,
No, no,
what's
that's
going
a
on
fact.
here?
That's a
Um,
fact, man.
like, what's going on here? It's a glitch in the system. I don't get it. It's supposed to be one or the other. But yeah, no, it was nuts, y'all. It was nuts. But here's one thing that I thought would not be a nut idea, and that is the Tech Wire and sharing all the good stuff that's happening down there. So the Tech Wire, for that, those who don't know, basically is brought to you by Secure the Badge, which is a website that you can basically check out for upcoming events that are going on. Right now, we're in the month of March, so there's a bunch of different things that has happened already, but there's things that are coming up as well. So we have Aspire Selling that's happening summits today. It's actually free. So if you want to check that out here, I will copy the link and I'll drop it to you in the comments section so you guys can check it out for yourself because there's a lot of things going on here that you want to find out for yourself. Go ahead and check it out. There's also National Society for Black Engineers NSB annual convention that's happening this week too, March 18th to the 22nd. Now that's $600 for a ticket baseline, but if you know somebody that knows somebody, you could be able to get in there. And that's what one thing we want to talk about is that there's a community here that if you could join it, literally it pays for itself. So you want to go to securethebadge.com, follow the link that says join the community, and you'll be able to get tickets to that event, others at no cost to you. Diversity Tech is happening this week. All things AI is happening in March 23rd, 24th in Durham, North Carolina. Diversity Tech is in Philly. And then RES Conference 2026 is happening in San Francisco at the end of March around the same time, the 23rd to the 26th. So check out the website for yourself. Look it up. See all the information that's there, because you never know what might be working out for you and what's in your neck of the woods. OTTO says, yes, Mother Nature and Old Man Winter need to kiss and make up so we can get back to some regular weather. It sounds like they're
That's
kissing too
hilarious.
much right now, if I'm honest. They need to separate, because they kind of intermingling right now. Talking about snowstorm and tornadoes at the same time. Y'all back away. 2 degrees of separation at least. Save something. Save something for the. Save something. Yeah, for the in between seasons. This is like, yeesh. Well, yeah, man. It's been a wild, wild, wild west situation when it comes to this labor situation, when it comes to the workforce. And we're going to talk about this conversation that came up on my feed. And it's unfortunately something that we're seeing a lot of. But you know what? We're just keeping we're just responding to news that we are seeing, because we want to keep everybody abreast on it. And so it happened again, where basically another company is allegedly cutting off a bit of their workforce. And we're talking about Meta right now. This one does hit kind of close to home, because, we already talked about it, a lot of these situations, but we're going to keep on rolling. Meta is reportedly weighing layoffs that could impact at least 20% of its workforce capacity. Like we talked though about before, if they're laying off, they might be hiring for something else. So what are they hiring for? That's the question that we got to look into afterwards. But yes, as the company looks to offset rising AI infrastructure costs and prepare for greater efficiency brought by AI assisted workers. And this is according to Fox Business. If Meta sells on the 20% figure, or settles on that 20% figure, it could be the company's most significant restructuring since its quote unquote year of efficiency in late 2022 and early 23, which was not that long ago. It was almost 3 to 4 years ago. The company nearly employed nearly 79,000 people as of December 31st, according to CNBC. So the departments expected to be most impacted are Reality Labs and legacy non-AI priority teams, according to Business Today. And Meta has also committed to serious money on the AI side, like we talked about. The company has said it plans to invest, remember what we talked about this before, but $600 billion to build data centers by 2028. Let me say that again, $600 billion. That's what it be. There's a lot of money going on right now being passed around in this AI space and technology. But here's something important to understand. Not everyone is buying the AI narrative. Some people believe, pundits included, that, and even executives like Sam Altman have suggested that many of these cuts are AI washing, while executives use AI to cover for other issues such as overhiring during the pandemic. Remember that part. What does it mean if you're in this space trying to break into it and stay tech? 2 things. First, get extremely intentional about aligning your skills toward AI and then infrastructure, which we talk about all the time. Those are the teams that get funded, not cut. Second, don't sleep on quote unquote AI washing conversations, end quote. Understand the difference between being replaced by AI and being laid off because a company overhired and is rebalancing its books. Those are very different situations, and you deserve to know which one is actually happening to you. So very different situations, y'all. And I think that that's something that we definitely want to kind of harp on for a second, is because there are a lot of companies that are saying that, hey, we're laying off, we're doing different things, and so on and so forth, and AI is coming. And so the narrative has been like, oh, AI is here to replace my jobs. Some degrees, yes. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it, but a lot of it is about making people more efficient, depending on the company and what it is that they're looking to do. But there are companies that their mission is to, like, hey, how can we get rid of people faster? Like, can we do that tomorrow? But that's not the smartest thing to do. And we have plenty of examples of it. I won't go into which companies and stuff, but you see the news all the time. This AI agent this is hallucinating, or this thing gave out the wrong order, or this thing is like somebody I won't say the website, but a restaurant. Somebody went to ask, I don't want to order anything, but can you help me solve this equation? And said, oh, sure. It looks like this equation is da 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 da. So there's situations like that that happen all the time where the guardrails aren't in place. What I'm trying to say here, y'all, is that we have to be ready because the signs are pointing to it. We're talking to it. We're banging our chest saying the same thing. How do you get ready? Try to get into positions in companies that are focused on AI. And if you get there, and another thing we're talking about is how do you maneuver to get to where you financially want to be? That's the next thing we'll talk about. But I'm gonna pause here. Wait for your comments in the comment section. What do you think about this story? Do you think Meta is really lying about this? Do you think this is really AI whitewashing, or AI washing, or what else do you think it is? Right? Let me know in the comment section what you think it is.
Oh man, I don't know why that was so to me, bro. Gave me a good old chuckle right there, man. But I mean, I'm it is interesting to hear when you said like there's two things happening at the same time.
Yeah.
Like two situations. You have okay, is it being replaced by AI? Yeah, kind of. And then are there companies that are doing layoffs because they overhired and now they're correcting, the balance sheet a little bit? Yeah, maybe
Hmm.
for sure. So I think we just got to know that hey, two things can be true at the same time, and depending on what company you're at or thinking about, it's possible that it's one or the other. The other piece that I did like was when you were talking about aligning the skills in the right way, right? So where is the investment going in the company? I think that's so huge. Like people at Meta right now,
Yeah.
y'all got AI teams and you know how much money they're pouring in that thing. There's no way I'm not talking to somebody in one of them AI teams or on the AI department and trying to, hey, when's the next opening? Are y'all
Yeah.
doing in-house first, in-house hiring first? Like, I need to be on that list. I need
Yeah.
to try and figure out, like, unless you're like super way high up, and then even still, I don't know. I'm still trying to get over there. Like, hey,
For
let
real.
me in. I think right now for a lot of the companies, especially the larger ones, money is flowing into the AI,
Yeah.
data infrastructure, right? All stuff we talked about: cloud computing, cybersecurity, and
Hmm.
semiconductors. So if we can find
Yeah.
ourselves on that side of the tech business, right? These are the areas that we know that are being funded, they're being expanded, um, more priority over there. So I think when we see those things happening, we can't just sit there like it's not,
Mm.
right? Like there is some writing on the wall. Most of the time we're just glancing at it. We're not even actually paying attention to what the writing is saying. So I'd like to think that those are some of the better areas that we probably should be focusing on if we're looking to get in the space.
Yeah.
Obviously, if I didn't mention cybersecurity, that's for sure is one as well. But
Oh, yeah.
yeah, yeah, I mean, um, it's interesting to say the least. But
Yeah.
that's funny, bro.
Yeah, no, as you're talking, it remind me of something. Like I was on a conversation with someone yesterday, a friend of mine who's a recruiter at an AI company, and we were talking almost an hour about situations, and this came up as well because I asked him like, "What are you seeing in the marketplace?" He's like, "Bro, like, um, even myself, having a business, I had to pivot because health insurance and stuff like that, because it's a lot harder than it was during the pandemic. We talked specifically about tech sales at the time. He was like, yeah, people could have got entry level tech sales roles like that nowadays. And I think the best way, honestly, to get into a company is being an SDR, BDR at this point. I'm being honest with you. Because even companies that I've seen, they're looking for people that have been established, that are ready to go, especially when it comes to like conversational, like linguistics. Like we didn't talk about that, but conversational designers and things of that nature. Like people that have been, whether they've been working in another space for a little bit, they're looking to grab that kind of talent. And so it's really specialized roles that people are getting drafted from other companies. But coming straight out of college, it's getting really tough to get into any of the roles unless it's really specialized. You might have done an internship, um, or you're just an SDR BDR, honestly. And then you grind it out for a year and a half, 2 years, or whatever the case may be. And then from there, you get the opportunity to pivot into a different area within the company. And now I'm definitely going to talk about that in a moment because there's like a part two to this story that I wanted to kind of expand upon. But what the reason why I'm bringing up that conversation is because um, the whole point of it in regards to how hard it is now is because the pandemic kind of brought this time where there's a lot of companies that overhired during that time, and they did lay off some people and do some restructuring like right afterwards in 2022, 2023. But if you talk about how big some companies are, those, quote unquote restructuring and still needs to take place in order to get them to a place where it's like, oh, we're actually in a place of productivity. So I think that it could be a bit of both in this situation because if you're spending $600 billion, you you have to probably relocate some allocate, that's a word, a few assets and things that you have because you got to make space for that, right? You're invested in there. So I don't think it's completely AI washing, but if you remember, man, and I'm speaking to the audience when I say y'all, like if y'all remember the pandemic, how it was like almost like candy, in regards to it being an employees market. Like literally, there was drive for talent. They wanted to get talent. Now it's different. They do want talent, but they want to specialize in the AI spaces, the voice AI, and just everything that has to do with agentic services. They want that sort of talent. So that's where the pivot needs to happen on a technological side. Now, the infrastructure side, we talked about this as well. The plumbing, the HVAC, like all those different things are going to be needed. How do you position yourself to get into the companies that are on the forefront of that? Because not every company is going to get those contracts. And that's something I think that either we talked about it offline or online, but not everybody's going to get those contracts. It's very hard to get those contracts. But if you have the skill set, you could find out, do research and find out what companies are on the forefront of these huge contracts with these huge data centers. Um, they're popping up everywhere. There's like a data center that's being built in Jersey. Like they're popping up everywhere. So there might even be one that's you don't have to even travel far from. That might even be in your neck of the woods. Find out who's got the deal, and especially if you have experience in any of those kind of skill sets. Let's see how you could pivot to that. But yeah,
No, it's crazy, bro. Never know.
yeah, absolutely. Well, I do have a part two to this story, but it's a different situation. It's not necessarily in regards to, um, it's not necessarily in regards to Meta itself, but this conversation made me think about something that really kind of uh, was my focus when I started my channel, my YouTube channel, which was about helping people get into the tech roles, right? Specifically tech sales, 'cause that's what I was able to pivot into. And so one of the things that was talked about a lot back in those days was job hopping. And the same conversation that I had with my recruiter friend yesterday, he was like, I don't know. That whole thing has changed, he said. And I was like, really? He's like, yeah, like, nowadays it's like, talking about his situation and other situations. He's like, listen, if you're in a company, the best thing to do is eternally see what options you have, because you could go to another company and think the grass is greener, and all of a sudden the rug is pulled off of you because they're doing their own restructuring, they're doing their own situation. So it kind of came up about job hopping, that it isn't a cheat code that it used to be. And that's the serious problem for entry level folks. But let me go to the conversation. Let me go to right here. I see. All right. So I have Petersburg address says, I think Grok doesn't AI wash
Petty.
because what? The Petersburg. Oh, got me. The Petersburg address. I think Grok doesn't AI wash because what Elon does with X. The rest are government subsidized. So unfortunately, it is 100% wash. That's a good point.
Interesting.
That's a really interesting point right there. Yeah, it's a really interesting point. Government subsidized. Okay. So in that case, yeah. So that means that they're struggling. Like government is helping them out, right? So that's a very, very interesting point. And definitely, and just so you know, y'all, for those that comment, we're gonna definitely shout you out at the end. So we appreciate you, the Gettysburg Address, for sharing your thoughts and commenting. I really appreciate that. Uh, and so the conversation now, we're gonna continue the conversation. If you have anything like any thoughts like that, definitely share it. But we're gonna talk in addition to that about this situation here about job hopping. It isn't a cheat code that it used to be. You got to be very strategic about it. And so with this story, want to just to kind of throw it out there. But in this story, there's definitely something that you could probably take back with you. So the one, this one is for everyone who was told just switch jobs every 2 years to get a raise, right? So if you were told that, you can raise your hand in the comment section. That
I
playbook
remember
has
that.
changed.
I remember that.
That playbook has changed. Workers who switched jobs in January saw a median pay increase about 4%. So only 4%, less than a third of the roughly 14% raises seen at the peak of the pandemic hiring boom in 2022. So compare that time in 2022, 14%, to now where it's only 4%, right? Now, don't get me wrong.
Mhm.
There's some companies that they'll come to you and they'll give you the bag because they see who you work for, what you've been working in, and they want you, they want you, so they'll give you the bag. But this is specifically talking about 2 years you job hopping, right? This is according to CNBC, by the way, and less than half of the workers uh, typically gained from switching jobs was in 2019, right? So the reason the level of quits of people quitting their job are measured by the Bureau of Labor Statistics has contracted by nearly 1/3 since the peak in early 2022. So people ain't leaving their jobs. They're like, listen, this
Yeah.
economy is
Yeah.
crazy right now. And so people aren't leaving their jobs. So employees are simply don't need to compete with the way they did. There's not much competition in regards to, there is competition outside, if you like in the job market, don't get me wrong. But in regards to like employers, they don't have to like compete for talent as much like they used to do. So looking ahead, if low hire, low fire continues to characterize the labor market, the job change premium could compress further, limiting to the extent to which workers can securely and meaningfully get pay bumps by switching roles. So now this is something that I thought was very interesting because it was something that came up in the research, was that there is a racial wealth gap dimension here that plays a part, that while higher income wage growth rose to 4.2 year over year in February, lower and middle class wage growth slowed by 0.6%, excuse me, and 1.2% respectively. So the largest gap since the beginning of the Bank of America's data series that happened. So this is basically, that's their study on that. So workers are unfortunately, so the move right now is not necessarily to job hop; it's to negotiate hard within your current company, build leverage to skills that are in demand, like we're talking about. Yes, AI skills as well, and be strategic about when you make your next move, because timing and positioning matter more than everything else. I totally agree with that. I totally agree with that. But I'm gonna pause here and let you get your thoughts. And I got some thoughts about that I want to add.
I mean, I mean, really, bro. I mean, you said it all, man. And it's one of those things where job hopping. Sometimes the grass looks greener on the other side because it's actually turf. It's it's not
It's not
it's
real.
not real.
Such
No,
a
you get over there and you're like, wait a minute. What are these little black beads in my feet? Like I'm supposed to be feeling grass and dirt. This is not, and then it's not real. And so
mm,
that's what a lot of people are seeing in general, right? Especially if you were probably one of the later ones to job hop, then you caught that fire. You landed somewhere and then you found yourself at the bottom of the senior ladder when the layoffs happened. And
yeah,
so everybody knows last in, first out.
yeah,
So yeah, I mean, one job hopping, it definitely used to work because the labor market, it was expanding crazy. It was going crazy. Like you meant, I think it was 2022. You said that was like the height of it. But when markets tighten, when they and companies start trying to be more efficient, aka adding in AI and cutting down, getting lean, automations, then yeah, I mean, you might be finding your way out, or trying to stay in and hang on. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it was a cheat code at one point because I don't know the number you said 14%.
Yeah,
I
that
know
was
some
a
people
very,
20 and 30,
a
like
lot of money.
20 and 30%
Yeah, that was a
off the
that was
move,
a median, 14%.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah. Okay, yeah, I can see. Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
yeah, but you're absolutely right. I said I'm hearing some of these just sign on bonuses alone. I'm like, what?
There you go. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it's a different
Yeah, so
time. And
it's go ahead,
go
go
ahead,
ahead.
bro. Yeah, I think it was lagging a little bit. Say
Oh,
it
I didn't
again.
have none. I said I was done.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I was gonna say it's a different time, and this is one thing that I know it sounds silly for me to say this, but I don't think it's silly actually. I think it's just it's just something that I really kind of feel wholeheartedly. Is that I think it took me to the pandemic to really kind of focus in on the fact that timing is so important. Just taking that pivot to go into the tech industry at that time. If I waited and said, "Oh no, I'm just gonna, I don't know about this thing. I'm gonna chill for whatever," it would not I would not be where I am right now. There's just so many different things happen because taking the time, looking at what the times are saying, reading the tea leaves, put your finger, what's the weather like? And literally kind of following what the weather is to make that pivot in the right time. I know there's tons of people that unfortunately they waited and now they're waiting still because they didn't want to jump in when they got there. And also not only is timing but stewardship. Like once you recognize the time and once you get into the thing, how do you steward that thing well? Like, are you busting your behind to make sure that you are going above and beyond and doing well to stay in that position, because now we have the situation where it's job hugging. People are hugging onto their jobs, trying to get promoted internally, not looking to leave because either they're at a good place or they're a place where things are like, or they're just like they know the economy is tough, so they're not trying to do anything extra, right? I'm gonna go
Yeah,
to
yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
Pettysburg Address. Appreciate you. Definitely subscribe if you have not, because I appreciate your comments. I think job hopping trended hard. Then after a couple of, can I read properly? I think job hopping trended hard AF. Then after a couple of cycles passed, performance resumes and references started show data that steered employers in the direction back to an earn your keep outlook. Absolutely, making noticeable gains scarce. Appreciate you. Thank you for subbing the Pettysburg Address. Appreciate you for sure.
Appreciate that.
No,
But
no,
yeah, yeah, he's
yeah,
totally right there.
that is, let me go back to this part. That right there. That is it. That is what happened in the pandemic. People they hired like crazy trying to get the best talent, and some people would not took advantage of that in the wrong way, using their per diem to buy home supplies and all sorts of stuff, and
Oh
not doing their
man.
work. Like I remember we talked about that. Remember that we talked about that
Yeah,
story.
yeah,
Like
bro.
oh, I got some toilet paper for the house, and and now it's like, okay, going back to the next pot, next comment, making noticeable gains, scarce, right? They're trying to focus on productivity and people not stewarding the role that they got, man.
Hundred,
People
hundred.
didn't steward it. Earn your keep, and which earn your keep is honestly, from as long as I know, like earn your keep has always been a part of the work culture, but in the pandemic, there are a lot of people that had a lot of leeway because it was like,
Yeah.
listen, we gotta keep this town, we gotta keep them happy, we gotta build a jungle gym over there, we have to have kombucha on tap over there. Like it was like cater to me, like the Destiny Child song. Let me cater to you. And now it's like,
Hey man,
hit the road, Jack.
I
What you
was
gonna do
at
some
that.
more?
I was at that kombucha. Hey, I was at it, boy. I stayed at it.
You just said, like, listen, this is it.
Hey
And
man,
so now,
hey, y'all need to refill that over there.
yeah.
I'll be back in 20 minutes. You know what I mean?
Got a lot of fertilization going on there for the fermenting, I should say. But no, but like, yeah, you're absolutely right. Like, it just kind of like shows how um that
like,
is
man, my
exactly
bagel's
what happened.
cold, man.
That is exactly what happened. And I'm gonna be even more direct. There's a lot of folks that got into the tech sales space, SDR role, thinking about the bag, thinking about how much money they can make, but not thinking about the work they had to do to get there. Like the SDR BDR role, that's like one of the hardest roles within a company. It's entry level, but it's grunt work. And I don't think
Yeah.
people fully understand it's grunt work, but it's grunt work to get to a purpose and a place, right? If you could prove yourself in that position, you could get to higher levels. There's a regional vice president in my company who started off as an SDR BDR and worked their way up,
Yeah.
and now they, traveling all across the world, United States, brokering deals, right, and doing all sorts of stuff. But you got to start somewhere, and I think that a lot of people don't want to start somewhere, steward that thing well, and then grow from there. Yeah, and he
They
said for
want to
sure,
start at
and
the top, man.
yeah, they didn't have much incentive to get back to work with all the free money coming in as well. There was a lot of that stimmy money. Everybody was like, "Whoa, I like it
Oh,
here."
that was crazy. I was
That
like,
was
man, I was talking to some people in my mind. I always worked, so it was just hard for me to wrap my mind around. I was talking to some
yeah,
people who was getting more money not working than when they was actually working. I'm like, how does that even work? That didn't even make sense to me, bro. I'm
yeah.
like, what in the world? Like I'm talking about they eating lobster tail, just like like it really blew my mind. How are you making more not
Yeah,
working than when you were? It just, yeah, I was out of there. But either way,
yeah.
I wasn't trying to find out for real that.
Mhm. That was, and but we're paying the price now. We're paying the price
Yeah,
now with the
yeah, yeah,
price
yeah.
of stuff and everything that gone up. Like, and that's the thing. And not everything ain't free. It feels free,
Nah,
right? But we the price that we're
ain't
paying.
nothing free.
Ugh,
Nothing.
a price to
Somebody's
be
paying.
paid. Yeah, somebody's paying the price, as LL Cool J says. Mama said, "Knock you out." But yeah, no, I think that I think that, man, that's quite a situation. But yeah, y'all, thank you, Pettysburg, for commenting and sharing that, because that's true. That's exactly what it is, right? That's exactly what it is. Um, and we're rocking with you. I know we're almost wrapping up the show. We're almost at time here, but I definitely want to just give, before I even go further, just give a shout out. OTTO, thank you for commenting. Peace and blessings to you, family, as always. And then we got the Pettysburg Address, who came in with some solid conversations. And to all those that normally comment, thank you for rocking with us and sharing with us. But we gotta give a shout out to these two individuals for all that they shared today, and I appreciate y'all. I don't want to leave you guys hanging without a brown box special in the building. So we're going to do a quick one right now. And this one is actually a very interesting one because it starts off with a question. But if you don't know, brown box specials, when we talk about somebody either getting fired, unfortunately getting laid off, or quitting their job, and we either share their pain, right? Because we've been there before. We want to, we understand the pain of it all. And we can relate to these stories. So this one is credit to Reddit. But basically, the question is, what are some warning signs your company is about to go under? What
Mm,
is a warning sign that your company is about to go under? So the company I've been working at has been having some financial difficulties. We had a company-wide meeting around Thanksgiving last year in which our CEO told us that big changes were going to happen. There have been a lot of people that left the company. Ooh, sign number one. Um,
yeah.
Today we have another company meeting in which they hold us in our marketing team. They told us, excuse me, that our marketing team had been been out on furlough. Has anyone been thought? Has anyone been through this before? I've obviously been applying to other companies since November, but what are other warning signs that a company will close its doors? How much time do I have? What other red flags should I look for? I have my HR person's a Google Calendar that I stalked and knew that something was up when a bunch of one-on-one meetings were scheduled leading up to the meeting with marketing. Any more tips? If y'all have tips in the comment section, let us know. Um, I'm about to go to this. I'm about to go to this comment section. Wait.
It
I,
makes sense, man.
yeah, I want to go to your comment, Pettysburg. I'm definitely gonna go to your comment section, comment right there, because that's hilarious. I want to talk about it. I'm gonna do this question first, but we're gonna end on that comment because it's funny. I want to definitely talk about that. But yeah, in regards to this here, right here, like, what are the signs that your job is For me, when they said, hey, if they tell me out of their mouth that, like, listen, we're not going to be promoting right now. There's like there. I don't know about going under, right? Completely, but that's one.
Yeah.
People leaving is a big one, like
Yeah.
especially
Yeah. Yeah.
leadership.
Yeah.
Because if it's leaders, like if
Yeah.
they're leading, then they know what's up. Like they're like,
Yeah.
yeah, this not gonna be the place for me. Um, that's different from in the timing too. Like if they're leaving, if they're vested and they're like, hey, I want to try something new, that's different. But if they're like, uh, yeah, I'm out of here, and it's like, what's going on? If it's publicly traded, not performing well, that's a big sign too. But like that leaving thing is the biggest thing I've seen. I don't know if you have anything
Yeah.
else to add to it, but I want to go to
Nah,
the
bro,
biggest just now.
that's the biggest red blinking light, man. Like the wrong or right people at the top dipping out of there, multiple, like trust me, not a good sign. It's
No
a
way.
sign that they know and they're, making way and moving around. You probably should be doing the same. You probably should be doing the same. I don't know, like you mentioned, as far as like going under, that's like, that could be a different thing altogether. But yeah, as far as like a strong restructuring or a bunch of people about to leave, or they're shutting down a whole, side of a business. Yeah, people at the top leaving and multiple of them at the same time.
Yeah.
Hello. Yeah, you got to get out of there. You got to get out of there.
Mm,
Or you got to wait it out. You know what I mean? Because if you wait it out, then you might get some stuff. If
yeah.
you got the right company. But
Yeah. And the Pettysburg Address said losing benefits or reduction of benefits, especially
I ain't
insurance, is
never
a
seen that.
red flag.
Golly.
I didn't see. I didn't know that either. Like that's definitely like you got no insurance. Yeah, we got to cut that out there.
Yo.
Yeah, that means that they're bleeding. They're at the point they can't.
Ah,
It means they can't afford to give you insurance. At that point,
yeah.
are you 1099? Like, are they switching you from
might want to might want to
1099?
might want to hey switch my stuff over to 1099 so I can at least get some tax incentives.
Oh man, no, that is crazy. But listen, y'all, if you're watching this on the replay, let us know your comments in the comments section as well. We want to hear from you about this. Yeah, like what are the warning signs? Because we probably could be missing it. Like, what are the warning signs that your company is going under? I don't think mass hiring is one of those signs, but maybe you know something I don't know. I think it's the opposite. It's a sign of growth. So, but like, let us know, what are your thoughts on that as well? Like, what are the signs that your company is going under? He said, I'm a chef, a good one. I make employees sign contracts for my protection. Smart. Man, listen, if I'm out, if you're in Florida, got the restaurant, hit me up, man. I might want to check you out. We get some food, get some grub over there,
Oh,
man.
come through.
Yeah, but I want to go to this comment because I thought it was hilarious. He said, man, in Florida, I was getting the government stipend plus SNAP a month plus unemployment at $400 a week, and I was still getting 80% salary cash each week. Bro, my
Yeah,
savings was
yeah, yeah.
lit.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. See, I was like, how in the world are they doing? I had no clue. I didn't know how it worked. But yes, I have family who were for sure.
Oh, he clarified that. He said, I make employers sign contracts for my protection. Oh, okay. Got you.
Dang, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
That's actually smart. That's smart. Yeah. Like
Yeah,
you protect yourself. Like, listen, this is the deal. This is da 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 da. You sign this. Cool. Notarized.
'cause it
Bam.
should work both ways. It
Yeah.
should.
I respect it. I respect that, man. I respect that. Well, yeah, listen, y'all. Thank you so much. This has been a great episode of Talk That Tech. We appreciate you as always. If you haven't, be like the Pettysburg Address. So like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And we will talk to you on the next episode of Talk That Tech. The
#1 tech morning show in the world. We'll see y'all next week, baby.
Peace.